Alright, so this Knife Thoughts video is going to be a review of this knife, and this is the CIVIVI Odium, designed by Ferrum Forge. And first of all, I want to say a huge thank you to my friend Kevin, who loaned this knife to me for review, and actually also thanks to Kevin for purchasing this knife using my affiliate link. So I do have an affiliate link for CIVIVI that you can follow the link, and when you purchase a knife after following that link, it tells CIVIVI that you heard about it from me and is helpful to the channel. And you can also get a 5% discount at civivi.com with code KNIFETHOUGHTS. So again, huge thanks to Kevin for purchasing this knife through that link, and also for loaning it for review, because this is a knife that a lot of people like, and it's again designed by Ferrum Forge, who has a lot of designs that people are really excited about. So this is a small knife, and it is about a 2.56 inch blade, or 2.65 inch blade. So around 2.5 inches, and you don't get a full 2.5 inches of edge because it does have this choil, but you get most of that 2.5 inches. Now, that was something where the owner of this knife, Kevin, was surprised by the smallness of this knife, and he said there's a pretty big difference between 2.5 inches and 3.5 inches on a blade, and that's very much the case. A 2.5 inch blade is much smaller and feels much smaller than a 3.5 inch blade. So when I open and hold this knife, it is definitely a 3-finger grip. So I can't really get my pinky finger on this handle at all when I use the main grip area. But with that said, it's relatively comfortable. I mean, this point doesn't really stick into my pinky too much, especially if I choke down a little bit. I do tend to like simple handle shapes. I think simple handle shapes may make for ergonomic handles, and this is relatively simple. This point here is a little extended, so that's something where, depending on your hand size, it might sit on your pinky finger or it might not, and you might even get more than a 3-finger grip, depending again on your hand size. For me, it is a 3-finger grip, and it's pretty comfortable. Now, you do get another grip style if you use this choil, so you can choke up, use the choil, and then I can definitely get a full 4-finger grip. But the choil goes right into the edge, so when you're using it like that, you have to just make sure that you're careful. Now, the truth is that usually when you're using a knife, or at least when I'm using a knife, I use a pinch grip, and this knife is pretty comfortable in the pinch grip. You can hold on to it like this, and you can use it really easily. This knife has really nice action. It comes with ball bearing pivots, which most CIVIVI knives do, and flips really well. Now, for me, this opening hole is functional, which I definitely prefer. There are some CIVIVI knives, like the Wyvern, where the opening hole is functional, and there are some where it's not, like the Dogma. I can't use this opening hole to open the knife. So I definitely appreciate that the cutout on the Odium is functional. I can pretty consistently use that to open the knife, and again, those ball bearing pivots make for really nice flipping action with the flipper. The handles on this are G10. They do have other versions of this knife with different handle materials and different blade materials, but the ones on this are a really nice black G10. It's tough to show in the video here, but it has almost a carbon fiber-ish look to it. You can see the weave in this G10 a little bit better than most G10. So pretty nice looking, pretty sleek, because there's not any hard machining on this. It is machined to have nice gradual curves, but there's no hard steps, so it has a kind of a classy look, I would say. And then the blade on this is D2 steel, which I like D2 steel. It's not a stainless steel, but it works really well. And so I think at $52, which is what these are on Amazon, about $55 most places. This is a good little knife, especially if you like Ferrum Forge's design style, which this very much fits within their design style, and if you're looking for a smaller knife. Now, one thing to be aware of is that some places have a 2.5-inch blade length limit. This is, a little over that, so you want to be aware of that. But most places, if they have a blade length limit, which, sorry if you live in a place where they have that, it's silly, but most places it's 3 inches, or a lot of places it's 3 inches, and this definitely sits under 3 inches. So if you can have a knife with an under 3-inch blade with one hand opening and a lock, this should work for you. So I think this is a cool little knife. Like I said, the owner was surprised by how small it was, and I think that's worth being aware of. So I'll show you it next to the CIVIVI Elementum. So the Elementum is one of CIVIVI's more popular knives, and you can see that the Elementum is significantly bigger than the Odium. It is maybe a little bit less tall, particularly in the blade, but it's definitely longer. And then here is the Dogma. And then people were pretty excited about the CIVIVI Kiwi. So I'll show you the Kiwi next to the Odium. So here is the Kiwi. The Kiwi is a tiny, tiny little knife, so it's a good bit smaller. But you can see that the Odium is also a very small knife. So just be aware of that. It is not a pocket sword by any means, but it is a nice little knife with good machining really across the board, nice construction, which is all to be expected from CIVIVI. CIVIVI is making really, really nice, good, budget-friendly knives, and I think the Odium fits within their modus operandi. So again, huge thank you to Kevin for loaning this knife. People loaning me knives allows me to make more videos, allows me to keep the channel going, and is really, really helpful because I wish I could, but I just can't buy every knife that I would like to have, let alone every knife I would like to review. So it's really, really helpful when people loan knives, and I really appreciate it. So one last time, huge thank you to Kevin for loaning this. But this is the CIVIVI Odium, a nice little knife if you're looking for a small Ferrum Forge designed knife. And if you've enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you get notified when I post new videos. Make sure you check out my social media at Knife Thoughts on Instagram and Facebook, and my website knifethoughts.com, where I post articles on knives like this and knife related topics. And last but not least, as always, don't forget to go out and do good.